episode 5 of Muscle Building Mondays. Today I'm going to be talking about how to use intuitive eating to build muscle and lose fat. When I looked up the definition online, the first thing that came up under intuitive eating was that intuitive eating is an approach developed to help people heal from the side effects of chronic dieting. An intuitive eater is defined as a person who makes food choices without experiencing guilt or an ethical dilemma, honors hunger, respects fullness, and enjoys the pleasures of eating. My history is I started out extremely restrictive. I wanted to become one of those girls on the magazines, so I would read through the magazines and I'd find their diet and I would try to follow it to a T. Granted, a lot of those girls are like 5'2" and I'm 5'9", and I was starving and it did not work for me. But I tried and I always felt like I was failing, and then so many foods became off limits. I just became an extremely restricted eater. Fast forward a few years later, I wasn't happy with my results. I didn't make it onto the magazines, and I was like, what is this for? I've always been fascinated with kind of European culture. I'm French Canadian, so like my ancestors are from France. I just love their culture of loving wine, loving cheese, loving food. I was envious of that, and I went on a mission to have that amazing relationship with food. That became my #1 priority, is to be able to enjoy life and enjoy food at the risk of losing all my gains and gaining a bunch of fat. I trusted that that probably wouldn't happen because some of the most fit people are intuitive eaters. I've heard about countries of intuitive eaters. In Canada, in the US, we are full of restrictive eaters, full of the diet mentality, full of obesity, full of weight problems. So I thought, I'm gonna change it up because I wasn't happy with my state of mind. I thought of food all the time, less was more. I went on a mission to change that. So how to get started with intuitive eating is you need to know kind of the basics and start implementing that into your everyday life, which can be challenging if you've been on a diet or you've been following some sort of plan for a long time. So the first thing you need to do is forget everything you've ever learned about diet. Whatever foods were off limits, if you thought carbs were terrible, if you think dairy's bad, you need to forget everything you've ever learned. #2 is you need to start listening to your hunger and full cues. Oftentimes, when I was more in that restrictive mentality, I wanted to eat 6 meals a day, so every 3 hours, and I would not let myself eat before that 3 hours was up. Even if I was starving 2 hours in, I would force myself to listen to the clock and not my body. So now what I do is if my body tells me I'm hungry, I eat. The more you listen to those hunger cues, the more you'll be able to hear the full cues. I did not know if I'd ever be able to hear my full cues. I really believe that if I let myself eat what I want, I would just eat and eat and eat and eat. It would never end. But what I learned slowly is the more I just let myself eat when I was hungry, the more I could hear that I was full and I was satisfied. #3, start asking yourself what you really want to eat. We are so messed up from diet culture that we think we need to eat salad and boiled chicken and steamed broccoli, and if we don't eat that, then we're failing at our diet. But what I started doing is taking the time and really asking myself what I want and trying to listen. So ask yourself, what do you want? If the thought of boiled chicken and steamed broccoli is making you nauseous, don't force it down. Whole eggs and avocado and a piece of bread and a little bit of cheese sound amazing to you. Have it. Start listening to what your body is trying to tell you that you need. The next point is you need to start enjoying every bite. Enjoy every bite. Really pay attention to your food. Be mindful, take your time, be present, slow down. Enjoy the process of eating. We all love food. Make it more an event. Take your time, pay attention to what you're eating. And what this will do is help you over time understand what your portion size should be. Last point, which is probably the hardest one, get rid of any food guilt. So what would happen is if I would let myself want, pasta, and I would give into pasta, then later I would feel guilty. You just have to get rid of that guilt. You're gonna overeat sometimes, you're gonna overindulge sometimes you're gonna give in because it was in front of you. You just have to move on. That's life, that's eating. You're never gonna be 100% perfect on your diet, and that's okay. Let's put it into practical use so you can build muscle and lose fat. If you don't have any diet history, restrictions with food, then you can start here. Otherwise, you're gonna have to master the first few steps before coming to the practical side. Using intuitive eating to build muscle and lose fat. So what I like to do is kind of have a strategy to my eating. So I'm being mindful of what I'm eating, but I'm definitely not letting it overtake my life. I'm not measuring everything. So first, I think it's important to understand the basics. What is a protein? What is a carbohydrate? What is a fat?
Protein is essential to building muscle and recovery. Protein helps you feel more satiated after meals and helps to stabilize blood sugar. It's found in animal products and some other sources such as nuts, legumes, and dairy. Carbohydrates are essential for energy and muscle recovery. There are fast-digesting carbohydrates, aka simple carbs, and slow-digesting carbohydrates, aka complex carbs. Both are essential for optimum health. Healthy fats help the intestines absorb fat-soluble vitamins. The combo absorbing fats and vitamins are a necessity in balancing hormonal health.
Our bodies want a little bit of everything in order to build muscle, balance our hormones, have energy, be in a good mood. My focus was to have protein with each meal. That being said, remember intuitive eating, there is room there. If you skip protein at a meal, it's not the end of the world. I just make sure to have more protein at the next meal. Balance. Since I want to stay lean, I try to fill my diet with vegetables and fruit. I like filling my diet with lots of colors. Different vegetables with the different colors give you different micronutrients. So the more vitamins and minerals we can get into our diet, more healthy we're gonna be. There are no restrictions. Will I have some meals without complex carbohydrates? Yes. Will I have some meals that are lower in fat? Yes. I just keep it extremely balanced. And guys, that might seem really broad, but that's all I've done. I've created a balance of about 30% of my diet is from protein, 30% from carbs, 30% or 33% from fats. I eat when I'm hungry, I stop when I'm satisfied. I try not to overeat because it doesn't feel good, it's uncomfortable. It's not because it's gonna make me gain a bunch of weight, because if you overeat one meal, it's not. I try to keep my bedtime snacks small, otherwise it disrupts my sleep. I do everything to make me feel good. I eat enough protein because it makes me feel full. I eat enough fat because it makes my skin feel good, my hair feel good, makes my hormones and mood feel good. I eat carbohydrates because it gives me brain energy and energy in the gym, and I'm a nicer person if I get to eat those carbs. I have wine many nights because it's all about balance. If I'm at a party and they have cake or chips and I'm not in the mood for cake or chips, I don't have it. Intuitive eating is eating for physical, not emotional or environmental. So if I'm upset, I deal with why I'm upset. If I'm at a party and something smells good, I ask myself if I just want it because I see it or if I actually want it.
One of my favorite breakfast options is avocado toast. What I do is just mash up an avocado, and I like to use gluten-free bread. I just buy it at a local market, but if you're not gluten intolerant, then you can use regular bread. Avocado mash all over the bread, and I cut up about half a banana. Some people just like it more savory, so you could do avocado and egg for extra protein. Sometimes I'll make eggs on the side, but I like it sweet, so I'll add banana, sometimes honey, or a pinch of salt. I've been loving this snack option or dessert option pretty much every day. It's this frozen protein yogurt. I use goat yogurt, but you could use cow or Greek yogurt. I love using my favorite vegan pure protein, so I get extra protein in this sweet treat. I make sure to use frozen berries. So when you put the frozen berries into the yogurt protein concoction and let it sit, it hardens the protein in yogurt to almost like an ice cream consistency. I add in a little bit of cashew milk or almond milk just to get it the right consistency, because it can get a little too thick. I add in some chia seeds for extra fiber so I feel really nice and full and satiated after this dessert. Usually for lunch, I like to eat something like a big power salad or power bowl, and I call this my quinoa power bowl because you start with cooked quinoa, so that's what's in the pan, cooked quinoa, and you add whatever vegetables you want. So I just want a lot of volume because I've trained my clients all morning and I want to feel full. I also use this fermented soy, which is tempeh. It's just a source of protein, so you could use chicken or fish, whatever you're in the mood for. I love tempeh because I don't like eating meat all the time. The acidity will make my stomach upset, so I like to have a lot of fish and vegetarian options into my diet, but I want to keep my protein up. I also add flax oil because it is so good for your skin and your hormones. Drizzle some balsamic vinegar just for a little bit of sweetness, and I top with some cranberries and pumpkin seeds for a little bit of crunch. I have an awesome power bowl that's going to keep me full and satisfied. So a few nights a week, I need chocolate and wine. So I pour myself a glass of my favorite wine, and I allow myself a square or two of my favorite dark chocolate. I like 85%, but make sure to start with at least 70% so you're getting the health benefits of dark chocolate.
That's all I've got for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the basics of intuitive eating. I feel like I could talk about it forever, and it's actually really a complex subject. It was hard for me to make this video because it's hard to put into words listening to your inner voice. We're made to become intuitive eaters, but somewhere along the line, we messed it up. And obviously, if you're trying to become the world's best bodybuilder, or if you're a professional at a sport, then you might be having to follow a meal plan. But if you're just a regular person like me and you just want to live your best life and have a social life and feel like you can enjoy all life's pleasures, but still look fit, still build muscle, still lose fat, still see some results in the gym, you can do it. I did it, you can do it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have more questions on intuitive eating, let me know down below. If you are dealing with an eating disorder, go get some help. Let me know what questions you have on intuitive eating. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I took lots of time to try to put into words how to become an intuitive eater. If you guys appreciate these videos, make sure to share it with a friend. I appreciate it so, so much. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for the love on my last few videos. Check them out if you haven't seen them yet. They're all linked down below. And I will see you next Monday. Bye.